Is your computer running so slow that it's hard to watch this video? If so, you have come to the right place. Regardless of your technical skill, anyone should be able to do these quick and easy fixes to improve their performance in Windows 11. In this video, I have compiled what I consider to be some of the biggest bang for your buck fixes on your PC to gain some immediate speeds. Many of these are quick and easy free options that you can do right now without any additional software purchases. Towards the end, I will include some premium hardware upgrades I would recommend if after these fixes you are still running a little too slow. One of the first things you're going to want to do is check the performance of your computer by going to the Performance tab in your Task Manager. Now, to do this, you're going to hold down Control-Alt-Delete, and it will bring up the option to select Task Manager from there. And then if you don't see the same screen that I have here with all these additional tabs, you will see a button that says More Details. Go ahead and click that, and you should see this same list of tabs. And what we're going to do is click the Performance tab. Now, what we're looking for here is to see if any of these are getting capped out and staying too high. My PC actually is running very good, so it's hard to show this with mine. But really check on your disks. So you'll probably have 1 to 2 disks in your system. Check those. Make sure the percentage down here isn't staying too close to 100 or even capped at 100%. Another one to check is memory. Make sure the memory is also not capped at 100%, and preferably the lower the better on this. You don't want the memory to be used. That will speed your system up. Another thing to look for is your CPU. So if your CPU is maxed out, that will also bottleneck your system and cause things to slow down. The reason I'm sharing this as my first tip is this is a good way to kind of quickly know what might be your issue with your PC. You'll be able to see, is the hard drive maxed out? Is the memory maxed out? Is the CPU maxed out? Those can be very helpful in determining what's causing the issue. So the next thing we're going to check out is the startup apps. So we can actually do this from this same screen that we have up, the Performance tab. We can click the Startup Apps option here. Now, every app that starts here is going to slow down your system a little bit, especially when the system is first starting up. You'll notice it takes a lot longer to start up if you have a lot of processes that are starting up with the PC. And then if you have a lot of those processes running, they're using a lot of memory over time and slowing it down as well. So go through this list of items and find things that you're not really using or that you don't need to start up. So if you're a gamer, you can tell Steam, you can tell Battle.net, stuff like that. Discord, you can tell those to not start until you're ready to use them. So you can always go in and start those up on your own when you want to play them, but by not starting them with your system, you're going to save some system resources. If you're not sure which one of these might be useful to your system and you're not sure exactly what they do, my recommendation is to Google, is the startup process XXX? So is the startup process Creative Cloud important to allow to start? And see what comes up. If people are saying you can turn it off with no harm to the software that it runs or to your system, then I would recommend turning it off, and then you can start it up when you need to use it. So my next recommendation is to check on your hard drives. So you can do this by opening a File Explorer. You can either click it in your taskbar if it's down there, or you could type File Explorer into your search bar to pull that up. When it's opened, click on the This PC link, and from there you'll get a list of all the physical hard drives that are in your computer, as well as maybe some network drives as well. The main thing you're going to want to look for here, and you probably only have 1 or 2 of these. I have 5 hard drives in this PC because this is my main system that I store stuff on, but you want to look for any that show a red, kind of like this network one down here. You don't want your storage to get so close to full that it turns red. That'll cause issues when you're trying to save data to that drive. If it's your Windows main drive, it actually uses something called virtual disk space to provide some additional memory. So if this fills up, that will actually slow that process down. So the first one would be type in clean mgr, and that will run disk cleanup. So pick the disk that you're wanting to start with. If you have more than one, you have to do each disk separately. But let's just say I'm picking my C drive here. And it'll pop up this dialog where you can select all of this temporary disk files that you can go through and clean up. So for example, my recycle bin right now has almost 5 gigabytes of stuff in it. So if I go through, select these, and then I can just click clean up system files down here after I've selected what I want to delete. And it'll take just a second here and pop something up. And you'll see here the system's asking if you want to permanently delete these files after you've made your selections. Just go ahead and go forward with that. And the system will run through and delete all those files, freeing up some space on your hard drive. Another good way to clean up some additional space on your hard drive, as well as get rid of programs that you don't really use and possibly that are using additional system resources, is to go through and uninstall any applications. So we can do that by clicking on, right-clicking on the Windows button and going to Installed Apps. From here, you can sort by either the date installed, the size, if you wanted to pick just bigger things that you're not using, or the name if you know something specific that you're looking for. But I would recommend going through this entire list, looking for things that you're not using. And again, if you're not sure if it's something you're using or not, just Google the name of it with a description saying, can I uninstall XXX on my Windows computer, and see what comes up. I'm actually just going through and looking for something. Here we go. I don't use this anymore. So if you find something that you don't use, you click these 3 little dots off to the side, and then you'll be given the option to uninstall. Go ahead and click uninstall. And sometimes it'll pop up an uninstall box like this. Sometimes it'll just uninstall. But overall, just click next through whatever it needs, and then you'll have gotten rid of something that you're not using and free up some space. Another tip I would have, if you have a little bit slower PC and you need to turn some of the settings down to get a little extra boost, what you can do is in the search bar, type in adjust the appearance and performance of Windows. And when you've typed enough, it will actually pop up here. So let's go ahead and click on that. And from here, what you can do is choose adjust for best performance. This will turn down some of the settings, the transitions and stuff in Windows, some of the translucent effects, some of the animations, stuff like that will get turned off, but it will help your Windows experience get substantially faster if you're having issues with some of that. The next thing I want to recommend is using the Windows Update tool to make sure your computer is up to date. This will not only make sure that it's secure, but it might also improve some performance if you're missing any driver updates or similar. So for this one, we're going to click down here as well, and you can just start typing Windows Update. And you'll see a check for updates come up here. Go ahead and click on that. And you'll want to click this check for updates button. If you have any updates, they're going to pop up here and give you the option to start installing. So I would recommend, if that happens, go ahead and click install. And usually when you're done, it's going to request that you do a restart. So make sure you do that as well. All right, now this recommendation is more for gamers usually, but it is a recommendation to make sure that your graphics card drivers are up to date. So there are primarily 3 different graphics cards company out there now. AMD, NVIDIA, and now Intel has also entered the arena. So Depending on what kind of video card you have is usually the search you want to do here. So for example, I have an NVIDIA, so I could search for NVIDIA graphics drivers off of Google. And you'll notice the first thing that comes up is the NVIDIA's website drivers. From here, you're going to want to just pick the card that you have, and then you have the option to download. So when this is done downloading, you can click it to open it, and it will step you through the process of installing the driver. If none of these options gave you the speeds that you were hoping to achieve, go back to that Performance tab in Task Manager and take a look and see where things are sitting now after you've made these updates. If you still have certain things capping out close to 100%, it might mean that you need to get a physical upgrade to that component to get things to improve much better. One that's very common, especially if you bought a pre-built laptop or gaming PC, is the hard drives are usually underpowered. Older types that aren't nearly as fast as some of the newer stuff on the market. So if you have a larger physical hard drive, you can hear it crunching in there. That's kind of when you know it's time to make an upgrade. Memory is another thing that you could also upgrade. So the system memory, a lot of the systems from the stores might come with 4 or 8 gigabytes on the lower end for some of the cheaper systems. If you do a little bit of research and you see that that can be upgraded to a higher number, it might be worth your time to look into buying that component. Just going from 8 to 16 gigabytes can make a huge difference in the speeds. And one last item that you can do is the graphics card. So if you're a gamer and as soon as you go into games, you just cannot get the FPS, the speeds, it's really lagging, it's just freezing up here and there, very likely your graphics card can be the culprit. You'll want to research how much space you have in there for a slot and any power requirements that you have. So if you have a pre-built PC from, say, HP or Dell, you might be a little more confined to what you can do here because many graphics cards do require an additional power connector that might not be present on your current PC. If you have the right slot, you have plenty of space in there for the card to fit, and you have the power requirements, upgrading the GPU can really add a lot of speed for a gamer. I'll go ahead and share a few items below that I think are good recommendations for the things I just mentioned. So the memory, the hard drive upgrades, and graphics card upgrades. I'll put a few of those items down below. Just make sure that they're compatible with your system before you decide to make the purchase. Hopefully after going through this list, you've been able to see some noticeable improvement. Windows 11 PCs often come ill-equipped and unoptimized for the users. They add a lot of additional bloatware that you don't need. So doing these steps can really help improve your system. Do you have any additional fixes that you have done to your system that have helped and you'd like to share? Just let us know down below in the comments. If you like this content and want to see more, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. Thanks for watching and see you next time.